Hello, Slothrin and adult fans of LEGO. It is time for another most excellent episode of Sloth City. And what is happening today in Sloth City? Well, I'm just standing here for a moment because it had the Sloth City sign. But we are going to just jump right into what is going on in Sloth City. Here we go. First of all, we have train track in Sloth City. I have laid out train track to keep in the forefront of my mind that it is a priority to be working on adding to our modes of transportation in Sloth City because you can never have too many. So we have all of this marvelous donated track from Brett and Butt Chop and people, and so I just kind of snapped some of it together, and not all of it is entirely snapped together, but it's just out there. And here we have the base for our train engine, because it wouldn't look like a train without one if I just started with a car. So that is going to be the train engine, and I am going to be working on that soon. What soon means is open to interpretation, because I don't really know exactly when, but I am going to get to it at my soonest convenience. But what else is going on in Sloth City? I'll show you. This is happening in Sloth City. This huge new influx of citizens are a gracious gift from my partner, an early birthday present, he called it, because, well, once he buys something for me, he doesn't really have a lot of patience for hanging on to it and waiting, so he decided to give it to me early. And so we have 51 new citizens in Sloth City, and in honor of these 51 new citizens, I finally did something I've been meaning to do for the longest time, and that is build a wheelchair. So this is one of our citizens. He was originally wearing a helmet. He took his helmet off, so he's hanging out with his hair. But he has this fine custom wheelchair. It is red. He can push it around himself. It is his wheelchair. He is not unable to progress on his own. He is able to push himself around in his wheelchair and go wherever he wants to go. I made it intentionally as low profile and narrow as I could so that he would not be hindered, if he was wanting to go someplace that had like narrow lanes or something. I wanted to make sure he could go, basically anywhere anybody else goes. So that is the new wonderful wheelchair, and as we get more wheels, we will have more wheelchairs, because wheelchairs are a good thing to have. It is good to represent those who are wheelchair users. But we also have just an insane variety of other citizens. We have this most excellent insectoid gentleman here with 4 eyes and antennae, and we have this fine fellow behind him who has little view screen eyes, so I'm assuming that he is some alien robotic sort of gentleman, but he might be a cyborg sort of a gentleman. I don't really know. We have another alien there. We have this fine fellow with his awesome hair. We have some random castle people interspersed in the crowd. For Brett's builds, we have this fine fellow, we have this gentleman here, we have this gentleman here, and they are all going to be wending their way across the waters to my good friend Brett's builds in his next package. We have this fine individual who is a relation of our friend Clement, who, of course, is half of one of our very first couples in Sloth City, as you'll recall, Clement and Yama. So this is some friend or relation of Clement's and comes from the same place that he does, which is why they have a similar sort of appearance. But just look at all of these wonderful people. We have a baker or some sort of cook. We have wonderful people with awesome headpieces. We have more most excellent hair. We just have this fine variety, and some of these people have got nice vintage bits to them, and we always love the vintage. But they're just a fine combination of motley bits and pieces, and they will absolutely look entirely at home in Sloth City because, of course, we don't worry about whether they are complete anybody's. Oh, look, there is a fine gentleman wearing a suit and a fez. See his fez. Isn't that nice? We don't have anybody wearing a fez in Sloth City before now. But yes, we have this most excellent Chima person. I believe that he is what is he? Is he a scorpion sort of a dude? I think that he is related to our friend Alan, the Spider Wrangler. So he'll probably check in with him. Of course, they're not going to be dating or anything because Alan, our Spider Wrangler, is asexual and is not interested in being in a relationship. So they will just be friends. Look at this fine fellow with his wonderful headgear. I don't even know what kind of headgear that is, but it is most excellent. And people with fine, vintagey faces. You gotta love some of the faces on these people. They have just all kinds of expressions. It's wonderful. It's like real life, but better because it's Lego. We have this interesting alien person who has an interesting head thing going on. It is probably not the head thing that he started with originally, but that's the head thing he has now, and it works for him, and we are going to keep it like that until such time we can get him a better head thing. So besides that, I also just wanted to show you, in honor of all of these excellent new citizens, I wanted to build another car because I love to build cars and people need modes of transportation. And so this one has got some nice vintage slopes here for its front hood that make for, paint detailing on it. And it is mostly red, but it has the yellow details. So we've got the yellow seat inside. We've got the yellow wheels. We've got a yellow back piece here, but it is a fully functional car with everything that anybody driving in Sloth City could possibly need. It has got a front grille. It has got headlights. It has got rear view mirrors. See these fine rear view mirrors. It has a steering wheel. It has taillights. It has a back bumper. It has these lovely mud guards. It is most aesthetically pleasing and will make a wonderful impression on the citizens of Sloth City when one of these new people starts to drive it around the streets of Sloth City. But yes, look at all these wonderful, most excellent citizens that have been donated to Sloth City by my partner because he cares and he wants there to be enough population to be out on the streets and also manning the stores and have a variety of people. And he knew that I didn't care what kind of people they were, but these are most excellent people indeed. It was an entire bag of them, and it was like Christmas morning. I was just pulling out people and people and people and people. And then there was like a day's worth of, trading out, hair pieces and hats and shirts and things. Sometimes gloves and hands. That's one of the other awesome, excellent things about Lego is you can do that. People can just say, oh, well, I want to have, I don't want to have pink hands. I want to have yellow hands. And so, they take them off and they put on other hands. It's great. But there you have it. all of these wonderful new citizens, this wonderful new car, this wonderful new wheelchair, so we will have adequate non-ableist, inclusiveness in Sloth City. And until the next most excellent episode of Sloth City, where we'll probably check in with trains, or maybe we'll do something else, I hope that you have a most excellent and fabulous day, evening, night, whatever you've got going on. I hope that you are most excellent, and I will look forward to joining you in another episode of Sloth City sometime soon.